How come in Star Trek they could never go up or down to get around another ship, like they were just two boats on the ocean? The answer is math. I mean, the answer is really dramatic tension. Of course, they're going to show any conflict with two ships facing head-on. But remember, they are in space, which means that likely they have full 360-degree movement in all dimensions. Now remember, space has no default orientation. There is no up or down. So let's say that you have two ships facing each other. You have one ship move upward relative to what we are seeing. Now, like freeze time, you can draw a line between those two ships after one ship has moved upward. Then you just rotate your perspective so that that line is horizontal, and you have two ships facing each other again. No matter how much one ship moves up or down, it can always be represented as two ships facing off against each other on a horizontal plane. So then the next question is, why don't they move up or down to, say, get away from another ship? The answer to that is to conserve energy. Let's say your starship is at a stop. It will take the same amount of energy to move the same distance in any direction. A mile in any direction, same amount of energy expended. So the question is, what direction do you go? Well, the most efficient way to get distance between you and the enemy ship is to go directly opposite to the direction that the enemy ship is traveling. Any direction perpendicular to that, any direction skewed from that, will make you cover the same amount of distance, but get comparatively less farther away from the enemy ship if they're still heading directly toward you. And since we are assuming 360-degree free movement, they can always head directly toward you. Which means going up or down will just allow the enemy to get closer. In an environment like space where you can move with complete spatial freedom, the only two vectors it makes sense to move in are directly away from the opponent or directly toward the opponent. Because from a certain perspective, you're always moving directly away or directly toward. The perspective can always be shifted to having the two of you across from each other on a horizontal plane. So you just want either as little distance or as much distance from your opponent on that plane as possible. And that's why the ships never move up or down in Star Trek.